Heritage Hall raises funds to place art teachers in Talladega City schools. This year, the program expanded to the 4th and 5th grade thanks to a federal grant from the Jemison-Carnegie Foundation. This year's program was done virtually, so Cindy Hawkins and Penny Arnold, our art teachers, created video lessons and delivered 300 art kits to the schools. They chose the kids' best artworks for each project, which make up this year's KidsArt exhibit. One artist the students focused on was Vincent Van Gogh, a post-impressionist artist very well known for his bold use of color and his very vivid and strong brushstrokes. Using the instructions provided, as well as the supplies, which included the black paper and chalk pastels, the students were able to create their own takes of Van Gogh's famous sunflowers. Another artistic practice the students focused on was Pointillism. Pointillism is achieved by creating pieces using tiny dots, brushstrokes, or points, typically in primary or secondary colors, and when viewed from a far enough distance, they come off as different colors. For this project, the students were instructed to use a pencil and draw their primary shape, and then using a dark marker to do the outline and dots, and then fill it in using other colors. Another project the students took part of were the positivity trees. For this exercise, they were instructed to draw a tree with however many roots or limbs they saw fit, and then to fill in the limbs and roots of the trees with things that made them happy, or things that were positive influences in their lives. After the pencil drawings, they were then instructed to use a Sharpie and go over their lines, and then to fill in using crayon, colored pencil, or whatever they saw fit. Another creative and meditative practice introduced to the students were Zentangles. For this project, the students were instructed to split a piece of paper into a 4 to 6 piece grid. Then using a permanent marker, they filled that grid or each square in using repetitive patterns or different abstract or organic shapes. Another interesting project focused on notan. Notan is a Japanese word meaning light and dark harmony or balance between positive and negative space, like the yin-yang symbol. This project teaches the visual concept of balance, contrast, and symmetry. Using a small square of black paper on a larger background of white, the students draw simple shapes into the black paper and then cut it out and paste it down, making a reflection of the black shape. Another visually interesting project was the OP art, better known as Optical Art. OP art is an illusion-based art. For this project, the students drew a heart on a piece of paper. In the background was a lined grid, and atop of the heart, the lines bulged, making the heart appear as if it were 3D. Then they added in shading and coloring to make it further appear as if it were popping off the page. This project was inspired by the father of Cubism, Picasso. For this project, the students created a face using 2 different perspectives, both front-facing and side-facing. They then customized both sides of the face using different colors and patterns to make them different and stand apart from each other. For this project, students stepped away from the abstract and looked more towards realism in creating realistic faces. In this project, students were taught how to create a realistic face, including the placement of eyes, nose, and mouth, and making head shape. They were also taught different drawing techniques, such as shading and smudging. Another fun project they focused on was pop art, made famous in the 1960s by comic strips and advertising. For this project, the students split a piece of paper into 4 squares and illustrated their favorite food 4 times. While it was the same food in each square, they varied in pattern, color, and slight difference. Another fun project were the dragon eyes. This project focuses mainly on repetition and pattern. They were instructed how to draw the eye and shown ways that they could add in scales, wrinkles, and different details, but were given creative freedom in coloring and choosing those patterns and how often they repeat. For their end of the year project, the students were given acrylic paint and were taught how to create an ombre. This includes the blending of paint from light to dark or vice versa. And in this project, they were able to create scenes from under the sea. Some of the pieces included fish, sea stars, turtles, coral, and many other things. And it was a really fun way to wrap up the end of the year.